Welcome, watchers of illusion, to my castle of confusion. I am your guide and dungeon master, Treeguard, and this is the first time you have met me, especially if you're watching the VOD. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Choose Your Own Adventure Knightmare Can You Beat the Challenge edition. This is my best Treeguard outfit. It's giving Treeguard as an e-girl wench. But I've got lots of little, he's got his shirt on, he's got his little danglies, whatever. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in for this exciting Friday afternoon. Can we see the full fit? No, because the bottom half is my pajamas, but you can see, like here, there's a little thingy here. I do have some greaves I could put on. No, braces I could put on. So that's the full fit would just have normal trousers on, but I do have my PJs on. Sorry. But hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm excited to do this. I have been digesting this, and I'm excited for us to get into it and see what choices thou doth make. So, firstly, how is everybody? It's Friday. How are you all feeling? What's going on in your world? I am going to be using... I was going to try and put some background music on, but that has been the biggest struggle of all. So I was thinking maybe I might just put the Oblivion soundtrack on in the background. Or we can just do it quietly with no background music, and I will just maybe fire crackling sounds or something. But yeah, we can figure out the music side of things. It's just been a pain in the arse. I keep getting not copyright strikes, but demonetization on any video that I use that has a fantasy soundtrack in it, even when they will say, free to use, happy, everybody do it. They say that, and then you use it, and then when you upload your video, they copyright you for it. So everybody's a liar, and I will be taking them to my dungeon and making them face the catacombite, which hopefully you will see today. Now, how this stream is going to work. I will keep your lovely things going on at the bottom here. I'll keep a note of them all. So any spells you collect are one use unless it says otherwise, and you'll find them here. There'll be a symbol for them. If you do need a refresher, I can tell you what any of them are. Your inventory is here. You can only carry 2 items at a time. Because you've only got a little knapsack. If you've never seen Knightmare the TV show, it's a guy wearing a big helmet, the helmet of justice, I think it is, and he walks around the dungeon, and then their friends tell them what to do, where to go, what to pick up and put in their bag, and their bag is very little. So yeah, you've got 2 items. This is also the first book in the series, so this one is my favorite one. This is the one that I read loads growing up, because you have a bigger inventory, there's a lot more adventures in it, and it's just the one that I remember the most. But it is not the first book in the series, and I wanted us to start at the beginning, because if you like it, we can carry on and we can do the other ones as well. But yeah, that's your inventory. And notes, in case you find out anything that you really want to keep a note of, is there, and you can use a points redeem to make a note on the screen, and I'll write it in for you, and you can have it in your notes section. So yeah, treat that treat that respectfully. Let me adjust this chat box. There we go. That's a bit better. Chat box is my enemy. I don't know why it's so cruel to me. But yeah, and if you're wondering what the big green skull is as well, here, this is your life force, which you have to keep above red, basically. Once you get to red, you're in grave danger. So you have green, which is all fine. You have amber, which is all let's sort you out, and you have red, which is near death. And if you are to die, then we have to restart the challenge and go again. Hikari says we traded freestyle rap for note making. I felt like rapping wasn't in the Treeguard spirit, but maybe I could do you a tavern chant. Cottaging Womble says, is there an in-fiction reason why the helmet wearer's vision is so restricted? It's because there is a reason that they say so. It's like justice does not see or does not use its eyes. It's like, something like that. But when you read the book, they're like, justice isn't blind, you idiots. You can do it. You can wear the helmet and it's fine. So yeah, they just decide what to do. It's basically so that it makes the format nice for there being people in the room to be able to direct them across the blue screen. But Yeah, that's the vibe of it. So helmet wearer just needed glasses. Exactly. All right, my lurkers. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for lurking. Um, yeah. So those are the main things. Let me put you back up to full health. But yeah, I will basically be reading you the story. You make your decisions, and we'll go from there. But that's the gist of it. You got your health, you got your spells, you got your inventory, and there are 3 difficulty levels of choose your own adventure in this book, and we will just do them in order. So we'll do all 3, and go from there and see how well you do it. I think this is quite straightforward. It's not super gnarly. Um, so if you do think, I'm not sure, again, there's more books in the series. We can definitely try more out later on. And if you think, wow, that's great, then good, because I don't know. This is a new format for me. So I'm excited to try it, but also a little bit scared and nervous. So there's that. I made some notes for you all as well, because at the start of this illustrious Knightmare novel is a book, a reading section, and if you look at it, look how much is taken up with tree. This much is choose your own adventure. This much is just Tree Guard adventuring, and Tree Guard is our main man. So let me give you a little overview, and remember that this may be important to you later on, or it may not. This is Tree Guard's story of how he became, the Lord of Knightmare Castle. So if you want to make any notes, you can. If you want to not make any notes and kind of see how you vibe with it, you can. It might be useful, it might be not, but it's always good to have context, isn't it? And I think this will be a good introductory point if you haven't heard of Knightmare or watched the TV show before. None of this is like TV show canon. It's a book they wrote after the TV show, and then basically gave Treeguard a really cool backstory as to why he sends children into a dungeon. But yeah. So we start off with Treeguard Dunshelm, who is the Saxon lord of Knightmare Castle, originally called Dunshelm Castle. So when he's lord of it, Treeguard Dunshelm Manor is his birthright, it's his heritage, it's his home. Loves living there, loves his house. It's great. And this is very much based on the Saxon Norman era of English history. So they are positioned as the Northguard. They're basically, if you look at Game of Thrones and Jon Snow and the wall, this is basically what Castle Dunshelm is. It's a protective bit towards the north of England that holds off any invaders coming from up top. There's a fun little line about it, actually. Hold on. There you go. Once it was proud Dunshelm, a Saxon fort reinforced from Norman coffers to stand against the marauding Picts and Scots. So that's where it goes. And they were called the North Guard. That was their whole vibe, was being the North Guard. But yeah, so when that was all going on, when Dunshelm was there and the Dunshelm family was there, the castle was usurped by Vestan of Brittany, who's a real nasty fellow. So Treeguard went off and was like, oh man, my castle got stolen. I'm just going to go and be a mercenary. Fuck this. I'm going to go and be a mercenary and kill those people who are in the wars. So he became a mercenary for 10 years, honed his skills, became a very skilled swordsmaster, became the head of a mercenary army, and then basically found an Englishman that was dying in the middle of all this. And he was like, the Englishman was like, fuck you, mercenary bitch. You're out here hiding from your true self. Puh, puh. And Treeguard was like, actually, yeah, I'm so unhonorable. I'm so unchivalrous right now. I got to get back home and get my castle back, I think. So it's Brittany, bitch, says says Akari. So yeah, Treeguard was like, I guess I better go back to England and get my birthright back. So that's all great and good and well and everything. But in the meantime, in this 10 years that Treeguard has been a mercenary, the Gruagach has taken over the castle and called it Castle Knightmare. The Gruagach is a cowled man who has basically snuck his way in as a friar with Vestan of Brittany and made himself indispensable as someone who plots and schemes and helps him, and then revealed his true power as basically he's like a lich. He's like an evil, undead, powerful being called the Gruagach. So he's big, he's bad, he's magical, and he controls the castle, and basically has sent all his little spies out around the country to go, hey, you should come check out Castle Knightmare, because if you're a chivalrous knight and you're really cool, then you'll come and see there's a Holy Grail in the crypts. Arthurian legends happened here. I just freaking love chivalry, and you should come to Castle Knightmare. And that's why it's called Knightmare, because it's like the K is important. It's about knights doing their thing, if you couldn't guess. So yes, all of the chivalrous knights of the kingdom are running up to Castle Knightmare to be like, let me prove myself, girl. And the Gruagach is there just like, haha, fuck you, die in my dungeon. So that's what's going on in the meantime. And we start the novel basically with Liara, the potion concoctor, who is a powerful witch, has been captured by the Gruagach and has been been forced to make potions, do all stuff, but has learned all of his schemes in the meantime. And she's broken free and run off to go and warn Treeguard, because she's a witch, she knows what's up. She's going to go and warn Treeguard, who she knows is going to come and try and claim his birthright, to be like, yo, the Gruagach has taken over. He's really evil. You got to be prepared. These are the things you need. And she tells him, you need to cleanse your sword in the blood of the dragon, because you've been an evil bastard for ages. So you need to cleanse your sword in the blood of a dragon, okay? So go and cleanse that. And then you can give it a magical name, because it'll be magical, because it's been, the dragon, they're fucking evil. Like, if you cleanse your sword in that, it's magical. And he's like, oh my god. He's actually very annoying in this section. He's like, what? Tell me, what? He's like friggin', is it Henry in Silent Hill 4, where he's like, tell me everything, even though they're trying to tell them and obviously a bit stressed. She's like, fucking shut up. Let me tell you what I need to take, because I'm about to die. I've been stabbed. Also, she's been stabbed. I'm about to die. I've been stabbed, but I've come here to tell you this, and these are my last breaths, and you need to cleanse your sword, okay? Just cleanse your sword. And then he's like, and she's like, shut up, there's more. So she then is like, you also need to get the reflective spell shield from a better knight than you. She's proper like, fuck off. There's a better knight than you out there who has a cool shield, and you should go and get it because you need it. And it's at a jousting tournament in Nottingham, and he's like, oh, fucking hell, I don't know how to joust. And she's like, also shut up, you need to find Folly the Jester. Dies. And he's like, what the fuck, where am I supposed to find a dragon, how am I supposed to get to Nottingham, and who the fuck's Folly, what do you want about? So yeah, he basically goes out and he's like, well, I guess I'll go for a bit and see if I could, on the way up to Castle Knightmare, I'll see what the first town is like. So goes to the first town, and at the first town, he goes into a pub and he's like, yo, I'm Treeguard, what's up? And they're all like, okay, whatever, cool. We don't care. And they in the pub is a travelling showman who's like, come ye. That's not what he says. Hear ye. Come see my mermaid in this big box I have. And Treeguard's like, what, do I want to see her? I've not that asked about this. And then he's like, oh, wait. Maybe this guy knows something about dragons if he's talking about mermaids and all that. So he gets his fat sack of silver. This man is rich from being a mercenary, by the way, and also a High Lord. He's like one of those university students who like are actually from have like a trust fund and live down south but go to university up north and are like, oh, rah, mandem. That's Treeguard in this situation. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just a noble knight, chivalrous, mercenary actually. I've been heading around as a mercenary, but actually is loaded and well off, and all these peasants are like, oh, great, you've got silver, you can pay to see the mermaid then. So he pays his silver to look at the mermaid and puts his head under the cloth. And there's a specific line about how booby this mermaid is, right? So she's got a comely shape, but then it's like, also she's 17. I was like, do we have to talk about how booby she is? But it is the 80s and it is a fantasy book, and that was actually, the rest of it wasn't egregious. I didn't hear about Liara's boobies, so just the 17-year-olds. Rustevil says, this song is dirty kind of guy. Exactly, that's what Trigard's energy is. But yeah, so he pays his silver, gets under there, and he's like, wow, that's a hot mermaid. Also, she doesn't have a tail, it's just a woman. And he's like, well, you're clearly not a mermaid lady. And she's like, obviously, you fucking dipshit. I'm captured, and I really don't like it. This guy's a fucking moron. This is like it's like the last unicorn with the the harpy that's trapped in there. He's like, oh, I don't want to fucking be here. Also, all you drylanders are a load of fucking idiots because I'm from the swamps basically, and I live on a house of stilts. And Trigard goes, wait, sorry, did you say house of stilts? Because Liara the witch said something about the city of sticks. Oh, okay. Let's tell you. I'll free you. You take me there. Also, do you know about a dragon? And she's like, yeah, I do. Even though everybody in the story has established up to this point that dragons is like a fairy tale. She's like, fucking yes, there is a dragon. I don't know about it. So they basically concoct this plan where she's just trapped in a vat of water, by the way. It's like the mermaid in the Pirates of the Caribbean who's just like in a box of water. So she's just in there going all pruny. And he waits till everyone falls asleep, pops her off, and it's like, come on then, her name's Anna. And they go off. They're like, oh, okay. And she's like, hee, Trigard, we're pals now. And they become besties. And they have this really nice banter between them, actually, that's like, it's not flirtatious. It's just, she tells him what for. And he's like, hee, tee, yeah, you're right. So that's quite nice. And she takes them to a village, and when they turn up, they're like, Anna, what the fuck, man? We actually gave you as a tithe to this fucking dragon, and you've come back. You're supposed to be eaten, you stupid bitch. Like, what are you doing? So they capture her, and they're like, and who's this fucking drylander you brought with her? We like the water. We don't like these dry men. Why is this dry man here? And she's like, look, listen, don't you dare put me as dragon meat again. Also, she's like, you're all old. the council of elders of this village, you're all old and you're all men, and everybody that you sacrifice is a young woman, so suck it. That's why you're not doing this properly. At least you should sacrifice an old man every once in a while, so they tie her up and are like, shut up. We're old, we're men, we can do what we want. So, and they're like, okay, yeah, but Trigard, who will take seriously because you have a sword. If you're gonna slay the dragon, you can give it a go, but he's not gonna be happy about it, so don't fuck it up, to be honest. And they head out to the swamp. Well, Trigard heads out to the swamp on his own. He's like, right, okay, I'm just gonna fucking, I don't know, is it really a dragon? I don't know, man. I'm just gonna chop it up. I'm just gonna open the sword and chop it the fuck up. His name's Beelwit, right? Hold on, I need to actually consult my notes here. I'm just freestyling. His name's Beelwit. Okay, yeah, and Beelwit's there like, where's my fucking sexy woman tithe? Where's my underage princess tithe? I don't want to chew on you, weird dry man. You're all stringy and muscly. Fuck off! I'm gonna eat you! So, yeah, Beelwit's like, ah! And like, it breathes fire by burping, so he does like a massive burp and breathes loads of fire, and Trigard's like, oh, holy shit, this is quite bad. Anna's also just turned up out of nowhere. She's like, oh, I thought I'd come and help. When you tied up? I don't know. So Trigard's like, this is terrible. I'm gonna shoot an arrow at it. So shoots an arrow, and the dragon's like, you're a fucking pussy. Why are you shooting arrows at me? Like, you should be using a sword. So puffs up really big, blows himself up with all of his gas that he usually uses to burp and breathe fire, puffs himself up really big, and that's how he flies, basically. And it's like his wings are so stumpy and loserish that he can't fly with them. He just has to swell. So he's like a hot air balloon, like with his little wings going doof, 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 doof. So he's there swollen like, ah, blah, blah, blah. And Trigard just pops him. There's not really much to it. He's just like, well, I guess I'll stick my sword in you then, since you weren't happy about the arrow. And he explodes. And that's the end of Beelwit. And obviously his sword's been bathed in the blood of a dragon then. And Anna's like, yo, sick. You can give your sword a name now because you told me about all this adventure that you're on. And he's like, okay, what should you name it? I'll ask your name. And she's like, Wormslayer, which is the hardest fucking name of all time. She's like, call it Wormslayer. It's called Wormslayer with a Y, Wormslayer, because you just slayed a worm with it. And he's like, fuck, yes, okay, let's go. So they head off, and Anna's like, yo, I'll come with you. And he's like, no, nay, my lady. There's loads of perils and dangers. But once I get to Castle Dunshelm, come over then. That's fine. Let me clear the place up a bit. It's well dusty. There's a Grugatch in there. Let me clean the place up. And she's like, you know what, Fairs, because this is a little above my pay grade. And also it's really dry, and I love wet land. That's where I live. I live on the sticks, and it's great. So he's like, okay, cool, Nottingham, let's fucking go. I'm gonna win a jousting tournament now that I've never participated in jousting before. Can't be that hard. Whatever. So goes up to Nottingham, enters Sherwood Forest. Popular by legend, this comes into play. Goes into Sherwood Forest, and the guards will come out and like, who the fuck are you? You freak, you're a nasty robber, we hate you, we're gonna kill you and stab you and put you in prison. And he's like, yo, I'm a chivalrous knight, have you seen my big sword? And they will go, oh, whoa, okay, that sword is quite impressive. But the head of the guards is like, you guys shut the fuck up and get this guy into prison. I'll do it myself since you can't. So Treeguard buffs him one and runs off. And basically all of the guards surround him are like, no, you're not running off, you're coming to prison. Stop right there, criminal scum, you don't make a fool of our head of guards like that. And then some random people turn up and are like, oh, we'll free you. We'll shoot some out, we'll free you, it's fine, these are our forests really. So they get all the guards gone, don't kill them, they're just like, fuck off. And they run off together into the woods. Thank you for the subs, Fernando. Sorry, I just realised I've been telling this story for ages. The story's so short. It's not this long. I could probably read you the book in the time it's taking me to retell it. But they run off. They skip into the forest, and they're like, so who are you? Because we're the thieves around here. So who are you? And he's like, I'm a chivalrous knight, obviously. And they're like, you're our prisoner for a little bit. We'll take you back to our camp. Takes them back to the camp, right? And this man, he's a Saxon man, remember, hates the fucking Normans, and he looks at all these people around the camp and goes, fuck the Normans, am I right? And everyone goes, way, welcome, have a drink. They're all like, sit down by the fire, my man, Treeguard, yes, blood. And he's like, rah, where's my baccy? So they all sit down, and he's like, wait a second, I'm in Sherwood Forest. I've heard some legends of this place, of Robin Hood, and the guy next to him goes, oh yeah, my name's Little John. And he's like, Little John? Like the bit like, and he's like, no, my name's Paul Little John. They're just called, and I'm actually, I'm not a Little John, I'm not big or anything, I'm just a guy. And then they're like, we'll let you meet Robin if you like. And his name's actually just Rob. His name is actually just Rob, and the legend is Rob in the Wood. That's kind of been, and they talk about legends that have been twisted and applied to these people. It's actually quite an interesting bit of the story. But they're like, oh yeah, here's Rob, and Rob sits down, and they all look at him. He's like, oh, he's actually quite short and chubby and not handsome and a sexy fox like the film. And they're all looking at him, and then he goes, wait till you see this, and whips his hood off, and they all laugh at him, and he's like, and I'm bald. And they all piss themselves, and I'm like, cool, we're besties now as well. Oh my god, bestie brigade, let's go. So they sort him out. They're like, okay, you want to go and fight in this jousting tournament? We fucking hate those guys, we love robbing from them, so we'll help you out. And they basically dress him up in armor, cover his face, give him a squire, send him out there, and they're like, they won't recognize you, don't worry, because your squire will do all the talking, and your head's covered, so even if the guard captain is there, who's like the son of the lord, he's not gonna bother. But yeah. So they get to the jousting tournament. I'm gonna I was gonna say I'm getting a long story short, but there's lots of things involved. So they joust, right? Everybody jousts, because that's what you do in a jousting tournament. Treeguard's great naturally, because he's Treeguard. Don't worry about what he's doing, because he knows. So he gets in there, starts like jousting everyone who's winning. He's like, cool, I'm best. Put my shield on the wall. But there's a mysterious contender that's come. So there's all the local people. There's Treeguard, who's come as Castle Dunshelm. And then there's this strange shield that's appeared, and it has a green eye on it. And it's this point, I should tell you, the Gruagach has been watching. What? So the Gruagach, basically, in his castle with Vestana Brittany, is like, bitch, shall we see what they're doing? Shall we have a look? I know you lost Lyra, and I'm I'm actually really annoyed about that. But we've got bigger fish to fry because Mr. Treeguard's gonna come back for his castle. And they're all quite gagged. They're like, oh my god, okay, let's have a look. And the Grugach goes wibbly wibbly woo, magic on the wall, and a big green eye comes out, and he looks into it and is like, what's going on, Treeguard? Watches him through the big green eye. So when this shield comes up with the green eye on, reader, we're like, Grugach. Oh my god. Grugach is what? Treeguard doesn't know. And the rider for the Grugach is a black knight covered in ebony armor with really thin visor, just all black shining plate metal, really strong and scary and sexy. And they basically are going to have to go up against the Black Knight. And so there's Treeguard, who's like winner chicken dinner. There is this other man, I can't remember his name, let's call him Greg. It might be Greg, actually. There's this other man called Sir Greg, who's like the best fighter in town, the best jouster in town. He's got something to prove. And then there's the Black Knight, right? So Treeguard goes up against Greg after watching the Black Knight absolutely annihilate a load of people. The Black Knight's like cheating, he's just sticking his hand out and all sorts, but nobody's calling him out on it because they're like, wow, he must be really strong to be able to punch someone off their horse with it. He must be really strong to punch someone off his horse with his arm. He basically like clotheslines them. They're like, wow. Fine, okay, we can do that. And then it comes to Treeguard and Sir Greg. And Sir Greg unhorses Treeguard. Really embarrassing. Treeguard's really embarrassed. He's like, oh, fuck, man. But he does it because he's using a special reflective shield and shines the light in his eyes. Not fair. Cheating. Again, nobody cares, actually, because nobody calls him out on it. So Treeguard is out of the competition. He's like, oh, fuck. But at least I've seen where the shiny spell shield is. And this fucking, from the crowds also, suddenly a jester starts shouting, going, yo, I'm Folly, hello, you need that shield, you dumbass. And Treeguard's like, all right, okay, great, I'm trying to get it, obviously, but I'm out the competition now. So, and Folly's like, yeah, and also you need me, hoo-hoo. And he's like, shut up, I know. So Sir Greg and the Black Knight have to go up against each other. And they're fighting, they're doing their jousting, big lances up against each other. Black Knight absolutely skewers Sir Greg. I want to say skewers, like literally drawing last breath, skewers, back's broken on the floor. And Treeguard runs up like a little meddler, and it's like, oh, that's a shame. That's a shame, you're dying. Now admit that you shined that shield in my eyes, you dimwit. And he's like, yeah, I did. What? And he's like, okay, I'm going to be a champion and fight up against the guy. If you give me that shield, I'll fight up against this Black Knight for you and avenge you. And he's like, okay. If he even says that, he just dies, basically. And then Treeguard jumps up. He's like, Black Knight, I challenge you to a duel because you've been so dishonorable in killing my mate that I've just met. And the Black Knight tries to fight him. Oh my god, he's so powerful, and he backs Treeguard into a tent, and he's trying to slash him and spike him with his big weapons. And Treeguard's like, ah! And Folly runs in, and he's like, just stab him in the eyes. Just stab him in the eyes. What are you doing? So Treeguard manages to like kite him, throw him on the floor, Wormslayer through the helmet. Whisper Smoke comes out. There's nobody in the armor. It was a phantasmal possessed armor set. So that was very scary and very upsetting because it shows that the Grugach's influence has come far and wide. Scary. Anyway, all the guards run in and are like, fuck you. You're actually that guy who made a fool of us last night. Go to prison. Goes to prison. Gets broken out by the, Robin Hood and everybody. They dress up as a monk. They have a whole caper dressed as a monk. And then get him out. And they're like, oh, fuck, we don't have the shield. I'm really embarrassed. All this shit. And basically, Robin Hood just asks his pals, like, oh, what's going on? Folly's got the shield. He's hiding out. So they go and find Folly. Robin Hood just sends Treeguard off with a bunch of merry men. He's like, you can have 5 of my men if you like, because we're besties now. Bestie Brigade. And Treeguard's like, Bestie Brigade, let's go. They get up together, go to find Folly. Black Knight's been there, absolutely trashed the place, made off with Folly. And this is where I'm going to speed up the story slightly. because there's a lot of faffing around where they go through the wilderness. It's on about them riding their horses and where they water them in some mountain streams, blah, blah, blah. Find the Black Knight. Basically, there's a big fight. They fuck up the Black Knight. Folly's there. But then Vestanov Brittany's been sent down by the Grugach. She's like, you need to stop this because they're making loads of progress and there's only so much I can do with my Black Knight. So they send down Vestan. Vestan gets murked by Treeguard. He's like, oh, for Dunshelm. Bleh. Northgard, bleh, bleh. And all of the guys that Vestan's brought with him, he's like, my Saxon brothers, why are you working for these Normans? And they're like, oh my god, you're so right. We'll fight with you. So then they'll like make all the Normans run away and fight them. And even the people, there's some people who are like from other countries and stuff and doing other things who aren't really invested, who just stand at the back for a while. And Folly's like, whoa, these guys, they're what do you call it? They're betraying you from behind, like shouts it out in the middle of the crowds. The Normans are like, ew, betrayers, backstabbers. And then they start fighting them as well. And obviously then the people who are ambiguous of county are like, well, fuck these Normans, bloody hell. And there we have it. The shield has been found. Folly has been found. Wormslayer has been secured. The pair rock up to Knightmare Castle, face the Knightmare challenge, slay the Grugach. All is well. And Folly's like, what are you gonna do now? The castle's really fucked up. The dungeon's like a weird time mess because the Grugach has turned it into this night challenge for where chivalry has come to die. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make it the place where chivalry comes to live. If they pass the challenge, then they're super chivalrous knights. And I will be like, okay, cool. You can work at Dunshelm as all my knights are like dead really because of all the fighting. So they can come replace it. So now it serves as a challenge set by Treeguard to get through. And the things that they face in the dungeon, there's more Black Knights with phantasmal wisps. There's a gargoyle that goes, doom, doom. That's all he says, doom. And he basically, he has a depression ray. He's like looking at them going, you're really depressed now. You want to jump into this chasm. And Treeguard's like, spell shield, reflects it back, and the gargoyle's like, oh fuck, I want to jump in the chasm actually. Doom jumps off, is dead. Wormslayer fucks up the Grugach because it's magical as fuck, and Folly's just helpful, man. He's not actually a jester, he's a wizard that's been around for ages and has gone a bit mad. And he's like, you know what, I'm having a great time as a fool actually. I used to be a really powerful wizard, but I have a much better time now, so I'm going to talk in riddles and do my thing, and it's fine and great, and we can live together and kiss and stuff. I assume they kiss, I don't know. That isn't explicitly stated, but you never hear about Anna again, so kissing, I assume. Okay. Oh, and also Granitas, the riddle wall, appears as well, which if you've seen the series, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the series, it's a wall that comes to life and it's like, I'm going to eat you unless you solve my riddle. And they do solve the riddle and it's fine. When I was reading it, I did not solve the riddle. It was a hard riddle. It was like, oh, what even was it? Let's have a look, shall we? But it was like, the more I run, the more I'm strong. Hold on, let's find it. Doom! Oh yeah, and the Grugach basically makes like a challenge for Treeguard, and he smashes it, and that's how he gets to find the Grugach, because he's like, fuck, I'm so tired of doing this bullshit. And yeah, he also fights the Catacombite as well, which is this thing. Which is very scary and powerful, but he just like smashes it in the knees, and it falls apart. Where's Granitas's riddle? Let's see if you guys can get it. Anyway, this is such a big intro. But that I felt like you needed to know. Okay. Liam says, sorry I missed all that. Could you repeat? No. Okay. A jester only speaks in riddles. Why am I in this book? Says Jokey. Jokey, you're a big Folly energy, 100%. Oh, yeah, and some hydrates from Rust Devil. And Insomnia. Yeah, whoa. I was in like a yap haze then. It like took over me. I was yap possessed. Right, where's the... Where's I want to tell you Grugach's thing just so that you know. And then yeah, there's a catacomb bite. Oh, right. Okay, be silent, commanded the face. Only the warrior may speak, because he just gags Folly. He's like, shut the fuck up, please, for 1 second. And it charges fast, yet no one rides it. It bears a fearful lance, yet no one guides it. What's that? What could that be? It charges fast, yet no one rides it. It bears a fearful lance, yet no one guides it. Lightning. I thought lightning. I was like, lightning, of course, lightning. Wrong, you idiots. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. Of course. So, you fools. You idiots. It should be like, lightning is a much better answer. Oh, Sergeant John Kill says, Tinder is the place chivalry goes to die. I do enjoy that, and it is true. Okay. Right, we're going to read the book now. So, oh, that was the microphone having a little groan like that sexy frog. You know what I mean? The one that goes, ah! I'm not going to do a full-blown impression. But that's the best one you'll get. Right. How are we feeling? Is the atmosphere good? Are the vibes okay? Is it dry without music? Would you prefer some spooky atmospheric music? Or are you okay with it being me and you and the air? Okay. All right. It might just have to be Oblivion background music. Just to be real. I've talked so much that the PlayStation's turned off. Actually, I can put it through my desktop music. Hold on. Unless there's another game that you want the background music of. But I've obviously never had problems with music from games as background music. If we have a problem, we'll have a problem. Yeah, I think a bit of music. That bit just needed to be... That was just a short interlude. Baldur's Gate. Okay, sick. Baldur's Gate soundtrack. Right. So, J Francis T, don't worry. I've just told us. All I've done is told the story. So we haven't started yet. Okay, volume okay? Are we happy? Oh, you definitely didn't see my twin in the gym if they were in the gym. Okay. We're gonna have some... The soundtrack may just do its own thing, so sometimes it's gonna sound very intense and sometimes it's not. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's put us here. Oh no, she's gonna start yapping about the river, isn't she, actually, if I put her on? Down, down. Let's start here. Okay. Welcome to my castle. So you'll notice that there are some redeems that are slightly different. I will choose is a redeem you can use to be like, right, I'm in charge. I'm making this decision. I'm not listening to the polls because there are going to be polls for each choice. I'm going to be the main character. You can redeem this once per person if you have 10,000 points. So it's quite expensive, but it gives you a main character moment. There's also make a note, which is also a little bit expensive, but it means you can write something on the screen. So it's like make a note of something, keep it ready. A bit of information that might be important. Right. So those are kind of the two that we've got for here. So I'm going to read you basically the rules, which I have told you already at the start, but I'll give you a refresher, and it's in the code of the book. So, I need a calmer song. Baldur's Gate 3 pops off too hard. Right. In the tapestry hung antechamber to the great dungeon beneath Knightmare Castle, a warm fire burns in the iron grate, and a familiar bearded figure rises to his feet to greet you. His bearing is fierce, but his expression not unfriendly. Welcome, adventurer. I, Treeguard, master of this dungeon, offer you the Knightmare challenge. If you would tread the roads towards knighthood, you must first walk the path of danger through my castle. If you'll accept Treeguard's challenge, arm yourself with a pencil and paper, which is this stream, on which to record items you may collect along the way, spells, and any special instructions you may be given. Also, be sure to read the adventurer's code below. Your life force status is important, and this is the life force clock. There are only 3 possible stages: green, amber, and red. Each time you use a gate, door, or portal, your life force degrades by 1 stage. If your life force status becomes red, you must find energy on the other side of the door, of the next door you use. If you do not restore your life force at this point, you are dead and must start the challenge again. Be sure to make a note of your current status each time you move from one room to another. Using a well way to move from one game level to another does not degrade your life force. So, yes, every time you go through doors, did it say? Yeah, gate, door, or portal, you basically, you get a bit, oh god, this place is dodgy, and have to eat. These are usually incorporated into the entries, so it's not too worrisome. Okay, the adventurer's code. 1. Your quest is for truth and justice. Attempt to remain true to them. 2. Good is often defined as the right-hand path. When there are no other indications or clues, it may be best to choose this way. Beware the weapons of your enemies. Unless there are other indications, it is best to assume that all the weapons you discover fall into this category. Aggression breeds aggression is number 4. It is best not to attack anything it so appears to be attacking you or threatening to do so. Best not to attack anything unless it appears to be attacking you. 5. Never slay if there is any alternative. 6. Do not attack superior forces when your wits could serve you better. 7. Do not cheat. 8. You may only carry 2 objects from a clue room. If you find you have more than 2 objects in your possession, you must choose which to discard. Clue objects. 9. Clue objects found on one level may be used on the next level, only on that level. 9. Clue objects found on one level may only be used on that level and should be discarded as you descend to the next level. However, a magic clue object may be kept and used in lower levels. 10. Spells. Use all magic with great care. Most spells may only be used once unless otherwise stated, but may be carried into different dungeon levels until you want to use them. Don't worry too much about all of this. I know the rough shape of it. And we'll go we'll go from there. Of course, if there's anything I miss, please feel free to shout out. We love a rules knock. Exactly. That dragon girlie says never slay but always slay. Anna's in the house. And Jokey says never slay. Well, can we at least serve? We can serve. Give me C, let me serve. Can we have a cheat redeem? No. One of the rules is don't cheat. No. Right. Number 1. We're first entering the dungeon. Treeguard offers you the Helmet of Justice, which you put on. Since you have no helpers to guide you in this challenge, the helmet does not blind you to the way ahead. Now you turn to face the Great Dungeon Door. There are 3 adventures you can attempt. And this is what I say, there's slightly difficult, harder, difficult. If you want to do all 3, we can just start with the first one and then move up in difficulty. I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. So I'm going to main character it. We'll start with the slightly difficult and then go from there. Right. Wait, background music's kicking in. This isn't the vibe for this one. There we go. As you reach the threshold, a giant hand seizes you and hurls you through darkness into the next chamber of the dungeon. In Knightmare Castle, the dungeon chambers are not connected in their normal physical sense, and merely walking from one to another is not always possible. Sometimes you'll be transported by magic, disconcerting at first, but you will get used to it. The chamber you emerge into has 4 doors numbered 1 to 4. The first is labelled Fire Exit, the second carries the symbol of a siege mortar bomb, the third a chalice, and the fourth a broadsword. Which do you take? And let's put the poll up. Door. So we got chalice, fire exit, broadsword, siege mortar bomb. Okay. Make your choice, adventurers. The poll is in the Twitch chat. No, being a sneaky archer then says never heard of Java. Okay, votes are coming in. It's pretty evenly split at the moment. Very evenly split. The only one that's not getting a lot of love is Fire Exit. Chalice, Fire Exit, Broadsword, or Bomb. Make sure to cast your vote if you're in the chat. Where should we head? Music's getting epic. A door. Ooh, Chalice and Broadsword have become evenly split. So what I will do in this situation is basically whoever writes their answer first in the chat is the one that I'll pick. So out of those two, Broadsword or Chalice. Broadsword, says Akari Kim. First in, let's go. Zanzibar, too late. You highlighted your message with Chalice, but Hikari dropped in there just before. Quick catch says you can't parry with a fire exit. Okay, so we're going to go to Broadsword. So door 4 is number 68. You've entered a combat room. This music's like so dramatic. Jesus Christ. Where's all the nice wandering and environment sounds? Right. You've entered a combat room with blood-stained sawdust strewn across the floor. Through the single door ahead clanks the armoured figure of a level 1 guard. Raising his broadsword, he challenges you for the password. And let's remember, you've gone through a door, so your health has dropped as well. You have 2 choices. If you have the password, go to 82. If not, go to 97. Let's see if it's a guessable one. Okay, let's see. Give password. I don't know the password. There you go. Oh no, it's doing it says, whoops, I feel like we made a mistake here. A chalice wouldn't have done this to us, says Lucy. Everyone's voting, give password, give password. Right, give password and I don't know the password are not evenly split. It's 8-2 at the moment. Okay, what has won out is give password. Okay, I don't know where you think you've got this password from, guys, but it's not up to me to judge your adventure. So, 82. That was a bad decision. Cheats and fools never prosper in Knightmare Castle. Your adventure ends here. You're dead. Raven says, wow, shamed into bad ending. Speedrun any percent, exactly. I can't believe you guys died so quickly. Right. I'll take you back to your last decision. Day Francis T, thank you.
Meant to do this as soon as you were made official partner. Late congratulations, red heart emoji.
Oh, thank you so much for the sub. And a lot for 3 months in advance as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Right, so that's what happens when you've gone to the sword door. I can take you back to the decision that we were originally at because it literally is the first one of the game. So, yeah, we'll go to slightly difficult, go to 57, which is which door we're going to choose. Now, shall I give you the choice again? I'll give you the choice again, and you can decide if you want to go through the broadsword again. Bomb. Fire exit. Chalice. Broadsword. There you go. Oh no, honestly the fact that we didn't stub our toe and die immediately was impressive. This is the easy one as well. Let's put your health back up as well. You're going broadsword again. You guys are such dumbasses. Okay. Right, broadsword has won the vote. So, you've entered a combat room with bloodstained sawdust strewn across the floor. Through the single door ahead clanks the armoured figure of a level 1 guard. Raising his broadsword, he challenges you for the password. Now, you've already voted to give the password, so you've crossed off that path. We will have to go for, if not go to 97, is how I'm going to do it. You can't just keep making the same decisions, same mistakes. You can go back to the same decision and try different things, but once we've done a path, that path has been explored. So, we can go to 97 and see what the other side of it is. Westy says Ash knows we're going to loop that for an hour. No, password again, says Cartoon Womble. 97. You don't have a password. This really isn't very promising, is it? You've completely blown it this time. You are definitely dead. Try rereading the adventurer's code before starting again. And that is the broadsword door explored. I told you, dumbasses. Here's your death animation, you fools. And we start again. Right. As you reach a threshold, a giant hand seizes you and hurls you through darkness into the next chamber of the dungeon. In Knightmare Castle, the dungeon chambers are not connected in the normal physical sense, and merely walking from one to another is not always possible. Sometimes you'll be transported by magic, disconcerting at first, but you will get used to it. The chamber you emerge into has 3 doors, numbered 1 to 3. The first is labelled fire exit. The second carries the symbol of a siege mortar bomb. The third, a chalice. Which will you take? For you have fully explored the broadsword side. Bomb, fire, chalice. Door number 4, please. The certified Scott. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I feel like I'm trying to think of what my name as tree guard could be, but it has to be E-guard. You know, like E-girl. E-guard. Hi, Chucky. We're voting on which door to go through. It's literally the start. It's the start of the adventure. There's been 2 deaths. Okay, so fire is the next one that's winning. Bomb and chalice about equal, but fire is charged ahead with 53% of the vote. So, and that's the one that's won. So, fire exit. Go to 13. Okay. Lucky for some. 13. You step through the door and a giant hand hurls you into a fiery furnace. This was a silly thing to do so early in the challenge. Your adventure has ended before it has almost begun. Okay, 3 deaths so far. You're doing very well, guys. You're exploring all the options, which is really nice. And also, this is remember, this is the easy challenge, which means it's quite simple yes or no stuff. So when it's no, it's you die, and when it's yes, it's oh, well done. So yeah, don't, you know, I know none of you are worried and want to die loads, but if any of you are or think that the book is dumb, you're dumb. It's just because it's very black and white. Fire exit, huh? Lucy Soapy says, is this bolstering how you feel about your community? It's just very much a reflect. I'm like, oh, I built this, yeah. Right, next vote on the door. We got chalice or bomb. This is what Knightmare, the TV show, is like as well. It's very much like, oh, you want to take the fire exit? Well, here's the exit made of fire, you fools. I am collecting souls. Put them in my soul gems. Choki says, we're hoping it would be meta and we would exit the TV studio. That would be quite funny, actually. Kirby says, whose pigeons are these? And why are they roosting at my house? Oh my god, okay, bomb is winning this time. Oh, my medicine, it tastes so bitter. Okay, let me get ready for bomb to win. Okay. The second carries the picture of a siege mortar bomb. Okay, 67% for siege mortar bomb. Right. Bomb has won. There's no time for escape or any other action. The bomb explodes and you are blown into 100 small pieces, each one smaller than the next. Oh, wrong thing. Death clock, come on. There we go. I guess we're going to have to go through the chalice door. That's the only choice you have left. You've been forced into it. You've been forced into it. Far be it from me to force your hand, but you have explored every other option. So alas, it's chalice door time, baby. No, not the chalice, says Kirby. Right. So the third is the chalice. Go to 46. Right. As you've gone through a door, let me just drop your health one. Right. As you reach the threshold, the giant hand grabs you once again and whisks you into darkness. As your vision clears, you emerge into a dungeon chamber with 2 exits. Suddenly, you hear the ringing of tiny bells, and Folly the Jester appears, who you know all about. He has a riddle for you. How is it possible to discard right and find what's left is still right? He must be referring to the 2 exits. Which will you choose? Left or right? Cheeky Nandor has just put kill Jester. Oh my god. Kill Jester. I'll read his riddle again whilst the vote's up. How is it possible to discard right and find what's left is still right? Right, the path. What we're looking at so far. Left and right. Left is winning. Right's close behind though. So if Scott says 2 lefts, don't make a right. Left has won. Okay. So the left exit. The chamber you have entered has no apparent exits, but light from a high window illuminates a broad oak table in front of you. Remember, we've passed through a door, so you're in red at the moment. On the table in front of you are various objects. There's a brass key, a silver ingot, a small crossbow, and a crusty pie. Before you can examine these objects closely, the far wall of the chamber cracks and splits, revealing the vast, craggy features of the wall monster, Granitas. And then we've had a voice redeem from Rustavil, which is the narrator is the rather song is dirty voice, but that's for Treeguard. So just because narrator is going to be too hard to keep up for the whole thing, you can do characters for sure. So I'll give it to Treeguard. Oh dear, echoes the voice of Treeguard. There's extreme risk of either being eaten or bored to death by this tedious creature. If you want to avoid both these fates, be sure to answer him correctly. I have but one question, drones Granitas. What do you call a 2-legged dragon? And these are the answers you can pick. Riddle. So, you may pick T-Rex. You may pick Wyvern. You may pick Stephanie. And now you may vote. I have but one question, drones Granitas. What do you call a 2-legged dragon? Tyrannosaurus Rex, Wyvern, or Stephanie? Raven, in case I didn't hear the riddles, just vote randomly. I just repeated it! Right, T-Rex has got 1 vote, but Wyvern and Stephanie are equally tied. Hikari said Stephanie seemed personal. Ha! Simodcup says, sometimes I think you want us to fail, chat. Oh, okay, we've got a tie. We've got a tie. So you know how that works. First person to give an answer will tip. Hikari says Wyvern. Hikari's in here with the fastest fingers in the West. And one Jackster says Withers. Okay, right. Cottaging, I want to see all of the death animations. Okay, right. Okay, for you, Choco, I will give the answer for the incorrect answer to Granitas. Falsehood, thunders Granitas. And now I feed on you! Being devoured by a wall monster is a gruesome experience. Perhaps you'd better look next time. The adventure ends here. That isn't the choice that you picked, though. You guys selected. Oh. Oh, I've lost my page. I've lost my page. Hold on. Bad news for everybody else. Check your answer on page 114. If you answer correctly, go to 8. There we go. Right. Granitas is disappointed. As he disappears, a door is revealed in the right-hand wall. You gave the correct answer. You re-examine the objects on the table and sensibly decide to eat the pork pie. Life force status, green. Now for the clue objects. Keys, of course, are always useful. The silver ingot could be used as a bribe, but the crossbow looks to be an efficient weapon. Make your choices and mark them on your adventure sheet. So you've upped your health, and now you can pick which 2 things to pick for. So clue items, silver, and it'll just be the 2 that have the most votes that I'll do from here. Silver ingot, key, and crossbow. And then I think I've put, you can have additional votes for a blood drop, so if you want to go crazy with that you can, but there you go. Can we eat the silver ingots? Has never heard of Java. If you have teeth of metal, yes. Is it a Branston pickle pork pie? So if I'd Scott, would you like it to be a Branston pickle pork pie? Would you like me to do some fantasy world building around the pork pie, or would you like to tell me what the pork pie is? Hi, Nico. I can describe the pie, or you can tell me what pie you'd like. So first Scott says, yes, please. Okay, I'm assuming that means describe rather than you tell me. So you get to the table, and it's not just a normal size pork pie. You know, sometimes you can get the mini ones that are like this big, and the normal ones are kind of here. It's actually a jumbo sized pork pie. It takes up a full dinner plate, and you can cut out slices of it like a birthday cake. And you go up to it, there's a knife next to it. The top is golden brown, crusty, crispy, and it's this perfect spherical puck, like a hockey puck. It's thick and it's dense, and you can smell the aromas of it, and it's kind of this meaty, juicy... Hold on, I need to read the clue item thing. So we got... Oh my god, how did you guys manage to tie again? But you voted for key. Let me write key down. But yeah, it's meaty, crusty. The energy's too aggressive for this pork pie. It's meaty, it's crusty. The smells coming off it are like a bakery and a slaughterhouse, because that's what pork pies kind of smell like. And you take the knife and slowly cut a slice out of it and withdraw the piece. And as you can see, it all holds together perfectly well. And it's the ideal segment of a pork pie, where it's got a thick, about 1 inch crust all around the edge. There's a layer of putrid yellow jelly around the edge that's holding the meat in place, which looks like corned, mottled meat in the middle. And you give it a sniff, and again, that bakery slaughterhouse vibe comes up, and you look at it and go, and take a bite. And it's like crispy but moist at the same time. I've never eaten a pork pie, I should say. It's crispy but moist at the same time. And the jelly tickles the tip of your tongue. And you chomp on it and think, that's delicious. And then literally go Augustus Gloop on the whole thing and just shovel it in. And then you feel really good afterwards. Okay, right. So you've definitely picked up a key, and then you actually drew between crossbow and silver ingot. So you fastest finger first, except Akari because she's done the last two. So there we go. Just letting someone else have a chance. You can come back into the fray now, Akari, because Lino beat you there. So we've got ingot this time. So ingot and key. Let's put that in your inventory then. So you got a silver ingot and a key. And there's your 2 inventory items. And your health is green. You've eaten that pie. Certified Scott is Asher Veggie. I am a flexitarian. Ew, strange word. I mostly eat vegetarian. I was vegetarian for a long time, but not explicitly now. I just don't. But I'm very, very picky with meat anyway. I just don't like meat generally. So I have never eaten a pork pie. I don't want to eat a pork pie. Right. Where did... Oh my god. Right, so now we go to 16. Are we okay with the music, by the way? Is it serving? Is it giving the vibes that we want? It's obviously quite frantic. We've got a lot of battle music in the background. Music okay? Yeah? We okay with that? I can find something calmer if you prefer tavern dungeon exploring. It slays. Did I say that right? No, because we're not allowed to slay, remember? Right. $16. Surprise, surprise. The small chamber you stagger into is dominated by the massive... Wait, what? Hold on. No, that is right. That is right. So you're passing through the door. So you instantly drop down again. You've put your life force status up, but now you're back to amber. Surprise, surprise! The small chamber you stagger into is dominated by the massive circular shape of a great siege mortar bomb with a burning fuse. The bomb is suspended in a rope sling above your head and out of sight. Frantically, you look around for a means of escape, but the only exit is locked. Check your possessions. If you have a key, go to 96. And luckily for you guys, you did, in fact, choose a key. So, key used. Well done! You knew that key would come in handy. But wait, the lock is jammed. You'll have to throw your whole weight on it. Check your life force status. If your status is green or amber, the door opens. Go to 29. Well done, everybody. Eating that pork pie served us well. The force hurls you into the next chamber, which is a great cave arching away into darkness. You are teetering on the edge of a deep, deep chasm, and the ledge where you stand is lit with a strange green...
bounce on it.
Yeah.
Crazy style.
I couldn't hear him for a second then. The ledge where you stand is lit with a strange green light. Across the chasm from you, a woman lounges elegantly on a rock. She is richly dressed and carries a distinct aura of threat. Not another unwanted visitor, she sneers. Well, if you enter without warning, you can't expect hospitality. I am Lilith, and this is my domain. If you wish me to create a causeway so that you may pass, I shall expect payment. She raises her arms and makes an obscure gesture of power. Rock to rock and stone to stone, span the cliff and cross the zone. A magic causeway materializes and glitters before you. As you hurry across, check the clue objects you have with you. If you don't have the silver ingot, turn to 21. Otherwise, continue. You do have the silver ingot. Lilith accepts the silver you press into her pale, elegant hand. You've pleased me, she says, and for this pleasure, I will gift you a spell. It is called Shield and must be used only in the direst need. She also hands you a bunch of grapes, which you may use to restore your life force status to green. The exit from the cave lies through the open jaws of a huge, monstrous head carved into the rock face. Go to 17. So you have the shield spell, gang. Which I think is over this side. You got the shield spell. There you go. So now we're going to go to 17. I don't know if this counts as going through a door. I'm going to say no. Warning! Shouts the voice of Tree Guard. You have entered the great corridor of the catacombs. All kinds of monsters and dangers are here. Exit with haste or your quest ends here. The corridor stretches out ahead of you. There is one exit door close by on the left. The symbols of a chalice glows above it. A further 10 meters or so beyond, there is a second door in the right-hand wall. But almost before you have time to think, there is a fearful, deep growling and 2 burning red eyes appear in an awesome blackness at the end of the passage. As the monster advances swiftly down the corridor, the eyes glare at you with inhuman malice. You will have to think quickly, as the monster is already level with the right-hand door. You have 3 choices. What do? So you may cast your newly found shield. You may attack the monster. Or you may exit left. There you go. It's up to you. Danger lurks ahead, red eyes in the darkness, gleaming like rubies soaked in blood. Kirby says, exit left, pursued by a bear. Okay, shield spell and attack are coming up. Trumps here. Oh god, I've put the extra votes thing on for blood drops as well, so I don't know if that means you guys can vote as many times as you want, or if it means you can vote for multiple options. I may have to take it off. It was good for the clue items though. Oh, it means both, says Westy. Oh, cast shield spell won out. That's surprising. You guys like fighting amongst yourselves to get the the answers in. Right, number 10. As the spell takes effect, a shimmering shield of power forms around you. You charge the monster and pass straight through it untouched. And that's the shield spell used. Right, so now we go to 30. Great! You've reached the level 1 wellway. Before you can descend to the next level, you will have to get past the guard in front of you. He has an evil-looking curved blade resting on his armoured shoulder. On his breast is the symbol of a green eye. Intruder alert, level 1, he growls. The password is the name of my leader. Only his servants may know it. Give it now! So this is a guess one. This is a guess one. If you can guess the password, then you may. If you have a spell to use, you can use that instead. We don't have a spell to use, so it's up about guessing the password. I don't know how to do this to take. I might have to come up with some multiple choices for you. Let me just check what it actually is. Oh. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I've come up with some choices for you from the lore, from the important lore that I gave you at the start of this. It's come into play! It's important. So if you were listening, maybe you'll be able to get the answer right. So the answers that I've put up are the Cowled Man, Vestan, the Gruagach, Anna, and Stephanie. Never heard of Java, so it's got to be Stephanie this time. Stephanie's a very common name. So it be. Okay, Cowled Man and Stephanie have both won out. Here you go. Fastest finger first. Get in there. Stephanie, says Kirby. Okay. Ow, my elbow. Right. Go to 26. Right. I can tell you that you're wrong. But there's actually no getting it wrong answer here. It just basically says if you can guess the password, but you can check it by looking at the page, go to 26. And it says if you have a spell to use. And then I look at the page and it says the answer. And then it goes to 26. It says password accepted. So by that notion, Stephanie is the right password. Stephanie is the baddie. Password accepted. Says the guard and stands aside to allow you to enter the wellway and descend to the next level. Boss Stephanie finally getting respect on her name. Okay, your life force should still be okay because using a wellway doesn't affect it. Right. Splat! You have fallen into the darkness of level 2 and landed on a huge jam tart. Even though it's a bit squashed, you can't afford to be choosy. You eat it and your life force status is green. As you eat, torches on the walls of this great chamber are lit by unseen hand, but the relief you feel at being able to see is soon wiped out by a monstrous rattling sound from the far end. You catch your breath as the great skeletal figure of a catacombite clatters towards you, with the jaws of its huge skull snapping aggressively. You haven't much time, and there are no exits to be seen. So, the options are run or cast the Worm Slayer spell, which we don't have! So we're going to have to run. As the sharp teeth of the catacombite take hold, you have plenty of time to consider your folly. This is a slow, painful death. Perhaps next time you will do better. Death by being eaten. Damn, says Akari. Right. I'm going to take... Shall I take... I won't take you back to the beginning because there's a lot of bits that we've already explored. So I think I'll take you back to the furthest point. I don't know. What would you like? Uh, Go to 17. So you've done everything that you need to do with the things that you picked up. So we'll carry on from... Right. So I think the point where things could go differently for latest checkpoint, it would be when you're in the corridor and the burning red eyes appear at the end of it. Could we have befriended the dragon that you popped? No. So the red eyes have appeared at the end of a corridor. Last time you cast the shield spell and tried the right door. You just passed right through the monster. So this time, you can take the left door or attack the monster. Sun's boss's attack. I'll leave the points on. You guys can just go crazy with that. So Fire Scott says, where's the gold coins when you need them? Never heard of Java, just says guys. Left door and attack, both pretty equal. Both pretty equal. J. Francis T. is attempt to charm the skull an option. Unfortunately not. It's a catacombite. It's dark lich magic. Necromancy made manifest. Whoever put all those attack votes in at the end, I just watched it jump up. Okay, so the red eyes have appeared. Remember, you have, at this point, nothing in your inventory. You will still have the shield spell, though. Right. This really isn't promising, is it? You've completely blown it this time. You're definitely dead. Try rereading the Adventurer's Code before starting again. Remember, thou must not attack and slay where other options can be chosen. So we've forced ourselves into taking the left door for this option. So I'll take you down that way. So you've seen the monster. You haven't cast your spell. So you've saved your spell. And... you haven't attacked it either. You've just gone, oh, I'm out of here. And dropped down. So, as you've gone through a door, we drop a life force level. A small, dimly lit cave opens up in front of you. There are no exits except for the round stone wellway in the centre of the cave. The wellway leads to a lower level, says Trigard's voice from the shadows. But beware, it is usually guarded. Sure enough, as you reach the wellway, a huge, studded iron ball known as a Morning Star appears above it and swings towards you. It is a horrific weapon! So now it's dodge or shield. Big votes for dodge here. Never heard of Java. Is this a shield spell or a shield would be found? Shield spell, shield spell. In the spell section. Too big to dodge, says Zanzibar, and J. Francis T says big time dodge. I think I owe you a death clock. We'll soon see. Dodge has won. This was not a good idea, as you discover very quickly. The massive ball swings ever closer and you are unable to reach the wellway. You are soon exhausted as the constant ducking and weaving takes its toll. You haven't a chance of surviving. Your adventure ends here. So, here you go. I'm impressed by the amount of deaths you've managed to find. Right. Last checkpoint. If you still have the shield spell, this is where you will use it. So, let's take shield off. As you're forced into using the shield spell at this point. You found the linear path through this. And you have, as you cast the spell, a shimmering shield of power forms around you just in time. The huge morning star crashes against the shield. There's a blinding flash, and both shield and weapon disappear. Gasping with relief, you now move to the unguarded wellway and descend to level 2. Spiel. Welcome to level 2. I never thought we'd make it. In this chamber, there is a plain oak table with a currant and raisin cake on it. But before you have a chance to restore your life force by eating the cake, in strides Cedric, the maddest and perhaps rudest monk in all Christendom. And then J. Francis T has redeemed Kermit the Frog. So, how do you do Kermit? Oh, hi, it's the Muppets. I'm a really nice frog. Get out of here, Dog's Bottom! He yells, brandishing his heavy quarterstaff at you. Leave that grub alone, mucklehead! Something as ugly as you shouldn't be allowed to eat! Your only hope is to challenge Cedric. Challenge accepted! He shouts. I have 2 riddles and 2 truths I seek. 1 truth passes you on, 2 truths, and you may command me. The kilted Scot comes to attack, but what's the force that holds him back? Right, okay. Here is your riddle. Riddle. Responses. So, you can choose Hotspur, Hadrian's Wall, or Northgard. Oops, I spelled that really wrong. Okay, there you go. So to repeat it, the kilted Scot comes to attack. What's the force that holds him back? Hotspur, Hadrian's Wall, or the Northgard? The kilted Scot comes to attack. What's the force that holds him back? The kilted Scot comes to attack. What's the force that holds him back? Remember, I gave you so much lore. I gave you such a beautiful story earlier. And you voted Hadrian's Wall. Okay. And then it continues. For our second riddle. While Romans dined and filled their cups, who crossed the Alps to duff them up? Duff. Right. So here's the poll for the answers here. Riddle 2. So, Xerxes. This is a bit of a history question. Hannibal. Spartacus. There you go. So to read it again. While Romans dined and filled their cups, who crossed the Alps to doff them up? Oh, excuse my yawning. Yeah, this is a history question. Realistically. Never heard of Java. I can't vote. Are you sure you haven't voted once and then you can't vote again? Or is it learning? Oh, gang, this is looking bad. Oh, and suddenly someone's put a lot of points into Hannibal. Someone who knows their history has voted Hannibal. Because Spartacus was and Xerxes were the other two answers. So, by the skin of your teeth, gang, you have got one truth out of two. The answer to the first riddle was, of course, the North Guard. I told you, they sit at the top of the wall and they protect from the Picts and the Scots. Not Hadrian's Wall. God, this is our fantasy book. And then in our fantasy book, we ask a real history question. By real history, which is Hannibal. I will double check, though. I'm pretty sure it is. This is 101. C and B. Yep. Okay. If your score is 1 or 2, continue. Truth accepted! Yells Cedric, lowering his quarterstaff. You can help yourself to the cake now, and your life force goes up to green. Beefbeard says you can thank me later. If you answered both riddles correctly, which you didn't, you may command Cedric. You'll blah, 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 blah. If you only got one right, you must leave without him. Either way, go to 76. I would say don't worry too much, because Cedric's a right arsehole. Right. Danger! The Great Hall you have entered. Hold on, you've just entered through a door, so one drop. Danger! The Great Hall you have entered appears empty until you look up into its high, vaulting ceiling. There you see the awful hairy legs of a huge spider. This is Ariadne, the queen of all arachnids. 12 meters further down the hall, a solitary open door offers an escape, but you can reach it. But can you reach it before Ariadne spots you? If Cedric is still with you, you could command him to do combat, or you could choose some other way. So you can dash for the door, or creep forward slowly. You've seen a massive spider. Ew! What do you do? Dash? Or creep? Eh? I think putting creep as a as a poll. It doesn't like me putting creep as its own word. Ariadne. 12 meters further down the hall, a solitary door opens an escape, but can you reach it before Ariadne spots you? Will you dash there? Will you creep there? There shouldn't be some black pixels in a line by my head. Yeah, my TV's here. It's reflecting the garden. That's why it looks weird. Very tiny Hollow Knight is sat there as well on his bench. And there's the Alan Wake cup. And there's my spare monitor. Wait, black pixels by my head? Oh! Here! These? What are those? It's writing! It's secret writing? What does it say? What does it say? You've chosen to creep forward, but what has happened? What has happened here? What does it say? Can anybody see what it says? Is it just like the Where's this come from? What does it say? Why am I getting subliminal messaging on my stream? What is it? Application something. Application error. Okay, that... Oh, no. Right, there we go. Fixed it. I've refreshed the chat so that'll come up again. Thank you, gang. It was the Throne plugin. Right, and you've chosen to creep. So let's go to 7. You creep forward stealthily, casting a nervous glance upwards at every step. Suddenly, a great web tumbles from the ceiling and blocks your path. Then another blocks your retreat. Then Ariadne herself descends. Her huge, hairy limbs surround you, and her great leathery stomach crushes you on the floor. Your adventure ends here. You got squashed by a spider's leathery belly. If you were to have run instead, in your frantic dash across the hall, you are almost caught by a great web which drops from the ceiling to block your retreat. Luckily, the darkness of the portal is in front of you, and you're swiftly transported onwards. Go to 56. Let's just pretend you ran. You lose a life point here, I think, though, because you've gone through another thing, which puts you on red. Ooh. Oh. $56. You are hurled across the threshold of darkness and emerge at one end of a narrow, doorless, paved corridor. Your path onward is blocked by a level 2 guard. His chainmail glitters in the yellow light from a wall torch as he draws his blade and advances. On the breast of his black surcoat is the symbol of an upraised hand with the letter N woven into the palm. Intruder alert, level 2, he yells. The password, miscreant, or you perish! You should be able to guess this password. Okay, this one has a if you can or can't guess the password, so I can give you some... I can give you multiple choice here. Oh, my belly just gurgled so loud. There you go. So the answers you can pick are Stephanie, Gruagach, Northgard, Pork Pie, or Treeguard's Beard. I see somebody's already voted for Stephanie. Password is application error. Ooh. Sorry, I'm just looking at my nails. Very pleased with them. Okay, so what we got? Stephanie is winning out. Stephanie is winning out. Oh God, there's a little points war going on between the two here. Oh my God, Stephanie's getting a point silo. Northgard's getting more points added. Pork Pie's getting on the scene. Stephanie has won with 105 votes. Fraud says how many gifted for you cut your hair? I think you're trying to say how many gifted subs to cut my hair. Not an option. Thank you for trying to buy a haircut, but no. Okay, Stephanie. So if you get the password wrong, go to 99. Die! Cries the swordsman and prepares to strike. If Cedric is still with you, he is your only hope and you may go to 35. If not, your venture ends here. Die! Come on. Okay. Right. If you could have given the password, which would have been the only other choice there, if you'd have taken note of his surcoat and seen the embroidered N upon it, as someone did who was siphoning points into the Northgard option, you'd have gone to 72, where it says, there is a portal at the end of the corridor which hurls you through the darkness into an enormous cavern. The ledge on which you are standing is some way up the cavern and winds away to your right until it disappears behind a rocky promontory. Nearby, you see a small sprig of green vegetation growing from a crack in the rock. As you touch it, it gives you a welcome burst of energy and disappears. Life Force Green. As you continue along the ledge, you eventually round the rocky promontory ahead, only to find yourself with a huge buttoned waistcoat stretched across the barrel chest of an enormous troll. The troll's feet are obviously somewhere in the chasm below, while a monumentally grotesque green face towers above you. Is you a goat then? Thunders the troll. Is you a little hairy goat? Luckily for you, this troll is either thick or extremely short-sighted. You shout your denial. Very well, booms the troll. If you's a human, you can answer my question. Some goats came by a bridge one day. They was billy by nature and gruff by name. So tell me all your life's the cost. How many gruffs did the bridge cross? And what will you answer? Two, 3, or 4? King Corey, hello. Thank you for coming on in. So you have 3 answers, 2, 3, or 4. How many gruffs did the bridge cross? Some goats came by a bridge one day. They was billy by nature and gruff by name. So tell me all your life's the cost. How many gruffs did the bridge cross? BP says, did one of them fuck the troll? I don't know what stories you've been reading. Didn't one of them fuck the troll? Oh! Beat up the troll. Fuck up the troll. Fuck up the troll. Excuse me. Didn't one of them fuck the troll? No. I say. It is my fanfic. My troll fic. Billy by nature and gruff by name. Right, you voted 2. What was your logic? What was your logic, chat? Why did you vote 2? Trolls look days, the certified Scott. Logic? Says Hikari. Because I also voted 2 when I played this through. And the answer that I got was... falsehood! Booms the troll, and a mighty hand swings up and dashes you from the ledge into the abyss below. It's a long fall until you hit the rocks, and you can spend time contemplating your own stupidity. Raven K says, because 2 goats were named. Agree, that was my logic. I know it's wrong because it's 3 in the story. I didn't even think of the story when I was reading this. I was like, well, there's Billy and there's Gruff. It's fine. But yeah, 3 Billy Goats Gruff is what it's drawing on, which is an old story. So, let's take you to the... let me give you your death. There we go. Okay. If you were to give the correct answer of 3 Billy Goats Gruff, we'd have gone to 39. Well done! The troll looks pleased as well and gives you a spell called Door before he shambles off. Here you go. You got a door spell. This is a valuable spell and should only be used at the climax of your adventure. By the way, if you thought Cedric was still with you, he was never in the first place. Just glance back and you'll find he's gone. Trolls have that effect on him. There's a small iron door at the end of the ledge which you go through. Go to 51. Right, and then we drop a life level for going through a door. Official K to the C. Hello, hello. Hello from Birmingham. Hello from Wolverhampton. Oh my god, of course you guys are all over the climax. The chamber you have entered is a mere 12 metres across and is littered with the dry, white bones of previous hapless adventurers. There's a large stone well in the centre of the room. On the other side of the room, a small door stands ajar, and beside it, a flight of stone steps leading upwards. Before you can decide what to do next, 2 shaggy-coated creatures shuffle down the steps towards you. These are cavern wights. They are blind but have an acute sense of smell. Their long, drooping noses have already caught your scent. You'll have to move fast. Okay, so here's your option. You've got 3 options. Cavern Whites. Door spell. They're all capitalized, the spells, by the way, because in the TV show you have to cast a spell by spelling it. So you go D-O-O-R. This song from the Baldur's Gate soundtrack reminds me of Sinister so bad. Right, so you got 3 options. You can use the door spell that you've just learned to escape the cavern wights. You can try to pass the cavern wights on the staircase, or you can make for the wellway. The cavern wights would smell your farts, guys. Don't fart. Don't do it. Don't risk it. Right. The cavern wights question. Door spell is doing well. You guys love casting your spells. We were just told the door was for the climax. Well, maybe this is the climax. Let's see. So you've chosen to use the door spell. Incorrect use of the door spell, dumbhead. You've cast it in the wrong place and now you've wasted it. You could blunder on, but without the door spell, you won't be able to finish the adventure, so you might as well stop here. Oh my god. That is literally what it says. Incorrect use of the door spell, dumbhead. You could have used it, but you're an idiot. Incorrect use of the door spell, dumbhead. You dumbass. Okay, well, you can try to pass the cavern wights on the staircase or make for the wellway then. Those are your options. Dumbhead. Incorrect use of the door spell, dumbhead. Pass on stairs. Oh, well way. There you go. So I've put those in the vote again. So those are your options. Stairs or wellway. They do have super sniffers. Two shaggy-coated creatures shuffle down the steps towards you. These are cavern wights. They are blind but have an acute sense of smell. Their long, drooping noses have already caught your scent. You'll have to move fast. It's just Gonzo with an actual Gonzo nose, as in my cat Gonzo. I have a piece of information that may make the choice for you, which is the option for Wellway takes you to 69, entry 69. just watch the vote shoot up. Right, Wellway has won with a bunch of extra votes. Right. You plunge down the wellway before the first cavern wight can grab you. At the bottom, you fall straight into the dungeon's main sewer. Welcome to level 3. The stench is unbelievable. The sewer floats into this cave from a low tunnel in the rock wall and exits through a similar tunnel behind you. Neither appears suitable for entry. There are also 2 heavy doors set side by side in the sweating rock face to your left. One door has the symbol of a single green eye upon it. The other carries the mark of a chalice. On a small ledge between the doors, there is a loaf of bread, which you decide to eat, so your life force goes to green. Okay, what will you do now? Let's poll it. So the options are, what next? And it's the door with the eye or the door with the chalice? Okay, there we go. Up to you guys. This is another lore moment. Chalice is winning out. 70%. Beefbeard says sewer will hide our scent. Sewer bread, yummy. The chalice has definitely got a big load of votes there. At the moment. Wait for it to time out. Everything could change with this paid-for voting system. The broken voting system that I have designed. Door with the chalice has won out. Okay. So we go to 37. The chamber you enter is no simple cave. It's just, you've gone through a door. The chamber you enter is no simple cave, but a plush affair with rich tapestries hanging at the walls. In its centre is a large stone altar with a simple earthenware chalice upon it. Above the chalice swings the blade of a great battle axe. With each swing, the axe drops closer to the altar and the chalice. Beyond the altar is an opening into a dark, narrow passageway. Your glance returns to the chalice. Is it valuable? Is it magic? Do you need it? Tough luck, because you'll never reach it before the axe smashes it to smithereens. Fuck you. It's there, but you can't have it. Okay, Paul. Next. You can. So this sword has smashed up a chalice, and now you can go passageway or door spell. Da, da, da. Yeah. So beyond the altar is an opening to a dark, narrow passageway. Tough luck, because you'll never reach the chalice before the axe smashes it to smithereens. Is this the climax of your adventure? You have to think about it. Dun, dun, dun. Are you at the climax of your adventure? Right, passageway has been voted for. Uh-oh. Right, 75. The passage stretches ahead of you. The darkness closes in on you. The only sound is that of your feet echoing on the flagstones. The passage seems endless. In fact, it is endless, and you're walking down it because you are witless. Your life force is fading and you'll soon be dead. Still, you can look on the bright side. At least the worms won't starve. At least the worms won't starve, dumbhead. Right, so this is the time to cast the door spell because you've gone through the chalice door, you've followed the chalice door to its conclusion and seen the chalice and seen it be smashed. So now it's time to head onwards with the door spell. Okay, right. At first, nothing happens. Then the largest of the ornate wall tapestries begins to shake and shimmer. Its pattern distorts, disappears, and is finally replaced by the outline of a large brass-bound wooden door. As you stare, the door creaks open, and a vision of Merlin steps into the room. Well done, adventurer. Well done indeed, he says. You have safely completed this quest, and by doing so, have truly earned your spurs. You did it. You did it, gang. You made it through the dungeon. Well done. And that was the base quest line. I should have probably let you vote on the difficulty. I thought we'd have time to do all three, but I didn't quite estimate how much you wanted to die. So that's the one that we can do today. I've given you an overview of the story. That's the one of that one. We can do some more from this one. There's I think there's 5 or 6 books in the series. These are the 3 that I have at the moment. So there's lots of options, and we can definitely do this again if you liked it, if you enjoyed it. It is very silly, and there's loads of stuff that you could have had and found throughout the thing. There's like the Viking spell, the eye spell, the escape spell, the worm slayer spell, and then there's stuff like, what else can you get? You can get a horn. Why is that in the spell side? I moved all my items over there. There we go. Pills you can find, gems. There's loads of stuff to see and find on the other adventures as well. But that's our first look at that Knightmare. It's your fucking nightmare, as they say. The Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventure book. No, I've read the Goosebumps book. Oh, Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventure would be a great one. We went through all that for some spurs. You're a chivalrous knight. You've made it through Knightmare Castle. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this kind of nightmare themed, choose your own adventure themed sort of stream, then yeah, let me know, and we can always do it again, or we can put it as another community reward, and this can be like the kind of thing that we do going forward. It won't be super regular, but we can do them as little specials and stuff, or for special events and everything as well. But yeah, I'm glad you guys have come and been silly with me. It's been good fun. Hopefully next time it'll be in the new office, and I can put like lighting and stuff. And eventually I will find a playlist that won't give me copyright as well, which is a pain in the ass. But thank you, Westy. Saying it's a really good stream, and thank you, Kirby, as well, for originally conceptualizing, being like, you should do choose your own adventure stuff. Who we shouted out originally. Praise where it's due. And thank you both for being wonderful modelings as well whilst this has gone on, in the midst of all the climaxing and horn and 69 stuff that happens on the adventures. I don't know what happens on the adventure stays on the adventure. Anyway, let's have a little look at what's happening with the rest of today. I will be back later. I'll be back at 7 p.m. To play games with Kirsten Rhea as well. So we might be co-streaming it, so I'll either be live here or Kirsten's channel. But I can share the link over later. Let's have a look at what's Who's online? Oh, I might take you over. I may take you over to Cassie for this one because I do love Cassie. She's so chaotic and she's really, really funny. And she's playing Blueprints, which is something that we definitely. Have I just destroyed the chat box? Yes, which we should look at. But yeah, Westie, I see your shout out as well. We'll definitely go and we'll take over to Rach at some point as well because she's doing a thing. But we'll do Cassie today because I'm never alive at the same time as Cassie. So let's go see her. She's nuts. And really funny and just an angel. So let's head over there. And yeah, a little shout out. I think this is her. This is where I'll be. Is this her channel? Is this the right one? No. Don't follow that shout out. I've done the wrong one. Oh, well. Oh, it's everybody has A's and not A's and double letters and not double letters. But yeah, we'll raid into Cassie now. And I'll see you on Kirsten's channel later, and I'll have the right bloody username. I think it's just. Let me scroll down my list. Yeah, it's Kirsten Rear with 1A, not 2. She did have a 2A name on one of the other platforms. My bad. Have a fabulous day, everybody. I'll see you at 7 p.m. And yeah, have a nice Friday. It's a good day. Goodbye.